Welcome to Enoch, Outriders. I'm LtBuzzLitebeer, your commanding officer, and if you don't want to end up being cannon fodder, you're going to listen and remember every word I'm about to tell you. You feeling me? First up, you've been in cryo sleep for the past 30 years, so a lot's been happening while you were in there sucking your thumbs and dreaming of rainbows and unicorns. From that look on your face, you can't remember a thing, can you? Alright, here's a 2-minute crash course to get that head of yours screwed back on tight. Humans left Earth in the year 2048 after a series of massive earthquakes in search of a planet that could sustain life. 2 ships were crafted for that journey, the Caravel and the Flores, which were loaded with what was left of humanity, and they set out for Enoch in 2051 on an 80-year journey to get our butts from that dying planet over to this one. Now, we lost the Caravel in orbit before the journey ever began, along with most of the crew, including a large portion of your Outriders unit. Humans arrived here after 82 years, but before the civvies could be thawed out and brought down to the planet, you and your Outrider buddies were sent in to survey the land and establish safe landing zones. Now, a portion of your unit was sent out to grab intel from our advanced probe that was letting off some strange signals when there was some sort of an explosion and all hell started breaking loose. Now, from that point on, it started raining, and that's when Enoch changed from this beachside paradise to basically hell on Earth. The plants and animals were transformed from household domesticated pets to the worst sort of hellish creatures imaginable. You think I'm lying? Go hop that perimeter fence and see how long you last before Enoch puts your lights out permanently. That brings us to the present. Now, you've been in that freezing-ass pod for the past 30 years after barely surviving the anomaly. Things here on Enoch have gotten even worse than when you made your initial retreat. I mean, this place is like living in the middle of a giant alien zoo where everything out there wants to take a huge bite out of you. Watch out for monster-sized storms that will sizzle you to a crisp, and if they don't get you, what's left of humanity is out there living in the wilds. They've split into warring factions, and all of them want a piece of you and your altered friends. I can tell by that look on your face you have no idea what an altered is. Well, quite simply, it's you. While you and your buddies were in there sleeping away the past 30 years, the anomaly not only changed Enoch, it changed all of you. Your very structure has been altered, and now you're all mutants. You've got crazy powers hidden inside of you that can be channeled and unleashed on all your foes. Oh, and one last piece of advice, rookie. Watch out for other altered beings, because you're not the only one out there with superpowers, and not every one of those altered is on our side. So listen up, worm food. Before you go charging into combat and mutilating everything you see, it's important to understand what's going on out there, and first things first, you need to know how the class system works. As an Outrider, you get to harness the badass abilities of one of 4 classes: Trickster, Pyromancer, Devastator, or Technomancer. Now, each one of these main classes also include 3 separate subclasses that allow you to spend class points, which you accumulate through your adventures through rank ups, assuming you survive combat and don't run like a coward. Now, each one of these classes grants you certain baked-in traits that complement the subclasses and skills. The Trickster specializes at close-range hit-and-run combat and can even bend the laws of space and time. Think Loki, but way more lethal. Trickster class traits include damage mitigation and extra healing and shields for each enemy killed at close range. Maybe hit and run is not your thing and you prefer to get up close and personal with your targets and stay there. In that case, you would probably do well to select the Devastator class. This tanky class receives huge health and armor bonuses for foes vanquished at close range. For those of you that prefer not to see the whites of your enemy's eyes, if they even have eyes, perhaps the Pyromancer is more your cup of tea. This class specializes in alien barbecues, along with maximum health bonuses and ability power bonuses for marking and killing enemy targets. And for all of you lone wolf, shoot now, clean 'em up later types, the Technomancer brings the pain from long range. If this sounds like you, then expect increased long-range weapon damage as well as life leech abilities for your skills and weaponry. As if these classes don't sound badass enough, you can further enhance your abilities by earning and spending class points into class trees. You can go full-on assault, healer, ability, caster, or even tank it up and laugh at your foes as they do nothing more than tickle your armor. The combinations are limitless and allow you altered maniacs to really customize how you want to bring the pain. But wait, it slices, it dices, it makes mounds of alien fries in seconds. Now, by it, I mean you, Outrider, because on top of all the shooting and looting, you have crazy abilities tingling within your fingertips, just ready to set off a small thermonuclear catastrophe. Heat waves, thermal bombs, gravity leaps, pain launchers, and temporal slices are just some of the freaky effects you have at your command. Just remember your training and always point those things downwind. Alright, Cadet, now that you've been briefed on the different classes and abilities, it's time to talk combat. Because if you plan on surviving here on Enoch, you'll need to relearn the basic rules of survival. Rule number 1, you see those things that look like cover? Yeah, that's for and it's just there for a bit of eye candy. Besides, biological badasses don't hide, they jump in guns blazing. Want to get anywhere on Enoch? You're going to have to learn that violence is celebrated, and you are the CEO of the Body Bag Corporation. Rule number 2, you've got enough power surging through your infrastructure to power a small planet, so why not use it? Your skills can level areas of the battlefield or reduce whole squads of baddies to ash, so use them and use them often. Rule number 3, so you took some damage and want to retreat and cry about your scratches? Wrong. When in doubt, see rule number 1, because on Enoch, if you want to heal, you've got to kill. That's right, from violence spawns vitality, and the more you kill, the more you get to soak up that sweet nectar of life. And finally, rule number 4, there is no middle ground or peaceful solutions on Enoch. This planet was built on violence, and to survive, you need only one mindset: total aggression. The more you push, the more hordes you slaughter, the closer you are to reaching your goals of discovering what secrets Enoch has in store. Let's continue your briefing with a bit of field data, shall we? Now, as an Outrider, you and your altered buddies should expect around a 40-hour story campaign, all the while leveling up and grabbing that sweet loot. Looking to challenge yourself while terrorizing Enoch? I must admit that I do like a cadet with spunk. Just make sure you die outside of the base camp, because I hate picking up body parts. World tiers are the core of the Outriders experience and can be selected to give you an everlasting experience of challenge. Want to test your mettle? Crank up the world tiers and see what you're made of, but beware, because if you die, you are losing world tier progress and will soon be sent back to the minor leagues. If your training kicks in and you somehow manage to stay alive and finish the mission, you will receive high-level weaponry and armor, and as you select higher and higher world tiers, expect those rewards to get even better. But just because you finished the story campaign, the battle for Enoch is not over, not by a long shot. No, in fact, the fun is just beginning, because you will have 15 more levels of terror to encounter when you dive into expeditions. Now, these are unique, custom-crafted areas of interest scattered around Enoch that will all bring unique rewards and mechanics to the table. Want the best loot? Finish the expedition within the fastest time sector and on the hardest difficulty, and reap those sweet rewards. You will also be introduced to the intricate crafting system that allows you to customize your weaponry and gear until your heart's content. Not only can items be upgraded for better armor or damage, but special pieces can be deconstructed and their abilities stored into your inventories. Just got a badass weapon and want to add a little extra punch? How about adding a lightning mod? Or how about a mod that freezes your targets? Well, once you loot a mod ability by destroying the piece of gear, it will stay in your inventories for the rest of your mission here on Enoch. You Outriders are damn scary by yourselves, but mix in custom armor and weaponry, all with extra damage, healing, and elemental effects, and I don't know which I fear most, you or the 50-foot tall aliens. Last bit of information, and pay close attention, rookies. If you want to put your names on the dotted line and join the Outriders demo, it is free to all humans across the planet starting tomorrow, February 25th, on all platforms. During this time, you will be given access to all the different classes, their abilities, and a few class points to augment your destructive abilities. No preloading is active, so watch for the signal to be broadcasted. Enrollment is now open for you to journey to Enoch. This concludes your mission briefing, and I look forward to your feedback. In case you haven't yet done so, smash that sub button and set off a nuclear explosion on that bell icon to receive all future mission briefings from my channel. If you like the broadcast, take the time to give it a rating. Make sure to follow me on Twitch for weekly broadcast and on Twitter for all my latest orders on most things gaming related. Until the next one, this is Lieutenant BuzzLitebeer signing off.